Yeah, so I'm guessing the stream title should in fact be correct. Perfect. So, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Relax Movement. They've only got like 12k, well, only 12k subs. That's like, still like, probably more than I'll ever have, to be honest. So yeah, quick shout out to Relax Movement for just making this music for me to just use in the background. Okay, there's a really interesting one after Magic Bear, apparently. There's a very interesting card after this, whatever this one's gonna be. So, as usual, these are AI-generated Yu-Gi-Oh cards, created with GPT-2 Simple. Yeah, basically, Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are being created by a deep learning model, so it was given, I assume, like every Yu-Gi-Oh card in existence to basically just learn, like, how Yu-Gi-Oh cards are written, and then instructed later on to just generate its own. And then I'll just do my best to try and decide if said card should be printed or not. So we will start with Magic Bear Ascalon. Beast Fusion effect. 2+ monsters with different attributes must be fusion summoned, cannot be destroyed by battle. Gains. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly skim through the text, see if there's any mention that you can only use your own monsters. Bunch of Magic-y related stuff. Okay, so 2+ monsters with different attributes must first be fusion summoned. The next best super poly targets? Better not play all your monsters with the same attribute with this around. Sure. I'll just sit back and watch my opponent play, like, all 5... Well, not all 5 monsters. Like, they can use up to 6. There's an extra monster zone. I'll just sit back and watch my opponent play, like, 4 or 5 monsters. If they all happen to be, like, the same attribute. And then just play Super Polymerization and literally nuke their board and they can't do anything about it. Because it's Super Polymerization. Already just leaning towards, no, do not print this because of Super Polymerization. Yeah, a card like this would probably get the former card banned. I mean, just wiping out like 2 of your opponent's monsters with a card they can't respond to is usually good enough, but this can very easily wipe out like more than 2 monsters. And even if there are only like 2 monsters on your opponent's field with the same different attributes. Oh, different attributes. Oh shit, this might be even better. Oh, so it should be actually easier to just, like, fuse any 2 monsters just lying around. Oh, I thought that said 2+ monsters with the same attribute for a second. No, different attributes, still. Just let my opponent do their plays, and if all their monsters are different attributes, 1 Super Poly, and their entire board is gone, and they cannot do anything to stop it. Yeah, I really thought for a second that said the same attributes. Pardon me, but still, like... It's basically, like, the same idea with Super Poly. They just play, like, all their monsters, and you could just basically remove all their monsters. With a card they can't even respond to. And I didn't even actually read the card's effect in full yet. Didn't even bother, like, reading the effect on this one, because already just... a Super Poly target of this caliber is probably, honestly, just a little bit too good. A little. Gains 200 attack for each different attribute in your graveyard. Quick effect, you can send 1 face-up Magic monster you control to the graveyard. Negate the effects of 1 effect monster that was special summoned from the extra deck until the end of this turn. So it could send itself to just negate, like, an opponent's monster, basically. Gains attack equal to the combined original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard by this effect. Send one. So this effect or the previous one? There's like no well, if we were just assume gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard by this effect doesn't really, this sentence doesn't mention exactly how any monsters get sent to the graveyard, so I mean, it would make more sense if this said, like, by the previous effect, which would imply the quick effect here. So, is this sentence just meaningless? Because I think it is. During the battle phase, you can send one magic key monster from your deck to the graveyard this way. Which way? When this card with this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one magic key monster from your deck. You can only use one Magic Key Bear Ascalon effect per turn, and only once that turn. I'm just gonna say no because this is like the super poly target. I mean, 2 monsters with different attributes is generic enough? Just being able to fuse like almost any 2 monsters in the game on your opponent's board together is good enough, but no, that could be like as many as you want. As many, like, monsters with different attributes as you want. So, no, like, a card like this, unless, say, I don't know, like, it would say it can only be fused with someone with monsters you own. No, this card can never get printed, whatsoever. Alright, Chef High. Forgot for a moment my Python soundboard. Yeah, this little soundboard I coded in Python that probably took me like 5 minutes maximum. Yeah, I basically got the idea to just review these Yu-Gi-Oh cards generated by an AI from Nikachu, and also the idea to just put in these sound effects once I made my final decision. I've also got that from Nikachu MTG. So that would be, for example, if I want to say yes to printing the card, and that would be like no. So basically, press 1 on my keyboard for yes, and 2 for no. But this one's a no. Because of the interactions with superpolymerization. So, this is the end of the graveyard? Shut the fuck up. It's all just a form of card excavation. Spoken by Obelisk the Tormentor. Okay. So this is the end of the graveyard. Shut the fuck up. It's all just a form of card excavation. Obelisk the Tormentor. That is... I guess those things on Obelisk's back technically are wings. It's technically a winged beast, I guess. Cannot be special summoned. Once per turn, you can excavate the top card of your deck. If it's a monster, send it to the graveyard, then place 1 spell counter on it. You mean the monster sent to the graveyard? I don't know, you'd probably have to just rewrite the section of the rules regarding counters to make this work. And even then, like, the name alone is enough of a reason to say, like, this card would never get printed. Both fucking how long it is and the shut the fuck up. This is beautiful. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. This card can attack twice during each battle phase. This might be my favorite card so far. I've seen this bot, like, pump out. Either that or the 4 heavenly beams woven in the fabric of every being, and the something something, the heavenly flags of light. That one. Or that one. Okay. The official rules of the United States. Yep, that's the name on this one. Okay, so each player must send 1 card from the top of his or her opponent's deck to the graveyard, during the end phase of the turn that a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard. During the end phase of any turn that a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, you must send one of your opponent's cards from the top of their deck to the graveyard, and then they send one card from the top of your deck to the graveyard. So basically, like, if a card was sent from the deck to the graveyard at the end phase, each player mills one. The player who sent the monster with the highest attack to the graveyard by this effect can special summon one Melodious monster from their deck. And I don't even have any clues to how good this archetype is. I mean, I guess unless you're playing a mirror match, somehow playing a Melodious mirror match, I'm pretty sure, like, your opponent's not going to be summoning monsters out of their deck, most likely. And even then, I have no clue how good the Melodious archetype is. Also, no clue what the United States has to do with any of this. Whatever. It could get printed, I think. Seems fine. I mean, if cards are already going from the deck to the graveyard in large numbers, then what's one extra card really going to do? Alright, here's a Link monster, I guess. Flower Guardian Peacock. Warrior, 2 monsters, including a warrior monster. If this card's Link summoned, you can special summon one level 4, 8, or 10 warrior monster from your hand. Dang. Has to be from the hand though, but still, dang, interesting. Interesting design space. You can only use this effect with Flower Guardian Peacock once per turn. Oh, generic warrior support. I see. Each time a Flower Guardian monster special summon, place one flower counter on this card. Each time a card is set on your side of the field, you gain 600 life points. I'm a little concerned, I don't know, maybe if there's some infinite loop. I'm trying to imagine if there's some infinite loop that just lets you maybe even, I don't know, set the same card to your field over and over again. Considering there's no once per turn on the gaining 600 life points. I'm trying to imagine if there might be some way to just cheat with this card to gain infinite life points. Each time a card is set on your side of the field, you gain 600 life points. I'm trying to think how you can completely break this, because I have no idea. I mean, the special summon from the hand, level 4, 8, or 10 warrior, didn't seem too crazy. I mean, that's still very interesting design space, but... yeah, I'm looking at the last effect where there's no once per turn on it. So if there's a way to just, like, set the same card, like, indefinitely, you could just gain infinite life points. Also, still, this is a pretty funny way to, I don't know, maybe just win a game in time. Just set, like, whatever staple spell or trap you want, and then just gain a bit of life points, and then just win because of time rules. Oh no, it doesn't seem exactly safe with the no once return on the last effect. I mean, this would be, like, a lot, like, more terrifying if it instead, like, burnt the opponent for 600. Because, yeah, it would be much easier to win with burn damage than just, like, infinite life point gain, but still, I don't know what to say here. I'm still leaning towards a no on this one. Someone's probably going to show up in the comments section of this live stream eventually and tell me the combo that achieves what I'm imagining could be achieved here. The combo to just indefinitely set the same card over and over for infinite life points. I don't know if I want to look at other Flower Guardian cards. I guess I will, though. When you... oh, wow, and it's a level 8. If you draw this, you can reveal it, special summon it from your hand. Oh, nice. Get a free level 8 on the board. I would love that. This special summon, you can add 1 Flower Guardian monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, you have to draw this to reveal this is special summon it from your hand. It's not like if you add this card to your hand, you can't just like basically add another copy of this to summon it. And then you can only add 1 monster from deck to hand once per turn. If this card is tributed, you can special summon 1 Flower Guardian monster from your deck, except Flower Guardian Chariot. Pretty cool looking card though, not gonna lie. The last effect, there's no once per turn on it. So, when you draw this card, you can reveal it. Each player, like... So, the 5 cards drawn at the start of the game count as being drawn, right? Because that would be like a whole other can of worms. Yeah, I want to get a Wikipedia tab. So, does it say like each player draws 5 cards at the start of the duel? After deciding who goes first, both players draw 5 cards from their main deck. If the deciding duelist draws cards before stating who will go first, they've basically already decided they're going first. So, yeah, I gotta just remember, I guess, to not accidentally draw my hand before I confirm it with my opponent, like, who's starting, because yeah, I play, like, OTK Grenmaju, so I usually don't want to go first. Especially in game 1 where I haven't sided for the possibility of going first. So, in your opening hand, you could open this in your opening hand and just summon it to your field. No, both players can. Let's say if both people had this in their deck. Let's say if, I don't know, both players drew like 2 copies in their opening hand somehow. That's probably very unlikely, but let's just assume it happened. Both players could just opt to start with 2 level 8s on their board. And just do whatever with them. Yeah, but I don't know. It'll be definitely, like, more advantageous to go first and then just summon this before, like, any other cards get played. It would be more advantageous to just take advantage of the fact that you're both drawing 5 cards at the start of the game anyway, summoning this going first, as opposed to going second. And if this is special summon, add 1 Flower Guardian monster from your deck to your hand, even by its own effect. Yeah. Yeah, that first line of text opens up a whole new can of worms. Yeah, I'd definitely be a little afraid of greenlighting a card that has that kind of effect. Even if the rest of the card doesn't seem that scary. I mean, like, I don't even know anyone who plays Flower Guardians, for one thing. I mean, it's a level 8, so I'm biased towards just saying print it, and then I could try and use it in rank 8 Maju. Yeah, not gonna lie, I definitely do want to see a card with the designs, with this kind of design space, with like the first line of text. But yeah, you have to be like really, really careful with that. I mean, I guess for one thing, putting a hard once per turn on when you draw this card, special summon from your hand. I'd say like definitely put a hard once per turn on that. I mean, there's a hard once per turn on adding a monster from deck to hand. And then the last effect doesn't have a once per turn. Special summon Flower Guardian monster from your deck. Yeah, this is really interesting design space. I don't know whether or not to say yes or no to could this card be printed and it wouldn't completely break the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, Konami did actually print the Ishizu cards. And just let players use them freely with tier elements, so... Is this, like, really, like, the most... This wouldn't really be, like, the most broken card ever, I don't think. Yeah, I definitely want to see that kind of, like, design. I kind of want to see that first effect explored a little eventually. But still, handle with care. Okay, same thing with Flower Guardian Peony. Or do all the Flower Guardians do that? Wait, do they all do this? Okay, give me like a main deck Flower Guardian monster. Do they all do this? Or is this just something the AI felt like doing? For some dumb reason. If you control a level 2 or lower Flower Guardian monster, you can special summon this from your hand. Okay, can I just go to like the page for the archetype in general? I mean, I guess I've heard of the archetype. I might have seen like 1 or 2 cards from it. It's just I've never seen anyone play it, so I assume it's like not. I assume it's like not like meta viable if no one plays it. Definitely looks interesting though, not gonna lie. Okay, so did this... Yeah, it did just copy the art. Flipped it horizontally. Okay, so they do special summon themselves from your hand, but not like the moment you draw them. Yeah, so they do basically special summon from your hand, but not quite like this. If this card is special summon, target 1 level 6 or lower Flower Guardian monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use this effect if Flower Guardian Peony once returned if this card is tributed. You can special summon 1 level 6 or lower Flower Guardian monster from your extra deck except Flower Guardian Peony. Imagine if this was how the Flower Guardians special summon themselves. Imagine if this is how the archetype functioned. I don't know, maybe people would actually play it. Basically just start with most of your hand on the table already. I still don't even know if like people would play it. Blue Eyes Regulus. Warrior type for the record. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing 1 warrior or machine type monster from either field during your main phase. Okay. Just the counter I needed to warrior type monsters and machine type monsters. If people like... I assume people are still occasionally playing Baron de Fleur every once in a while. The special summon, I assume, doesn't start a chain, so... This would just be like a hilarious counter to Baron de Fleur. I guess also if there's like some pesky machine type monster that comes out in the future, this would be able to answer it too. Alright, sure, gonna side in Blue Eyes Regulus to deal with those pesky Baron de Fleurs. Once per turn, you can target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Black Dragon monster in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle at this turn. Equip it to this card. When a monster gets equipped to this card this way, you can banish all cards from the hand, main deck, extra deck, and all locations your opponent controls with Blue Eyes effects. Okay, this last sentence doesn't make much sense at all. When a monster gets equipped to this card, I just got lost after banish all cards from the hand, main deck, and extra deck. Banish all cards from the main deck, extra deck, and hand, and all locations. So, both main decks or just the opponent's main deck? And even just a card that just banishes every card from the main deck. Just completely that's just completely broken. I don't know what else to say. If you're only wiping out like your opponent's main deck, that's even worse, because once it'll get back to their turn, they'll just basically automatically lose because there's no deck left to draw from. And all locations your opponent controls. What locations they control? Controls with blue eyes effects. Oh, like the cards that get banished need to have blue eyes effects? So effects that relate to blue eyes monsters somehow? I'm so confused by this last sentence. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm reading on this last one here. Banish all cards from the hand, main deck, extra deck. And locations from the hand, main deck, extra deck. It doesn't say, like, opponent's main deck, opponent's extra deck, opponent's hand, so just all cards from both players' hands, main decks, and extra decks that have blue eyes effects, so blue eyes effects. I'm still thinking that means, like, effects that relate to blue eyes cards. So that wouldn't be, like, that wouldn't be all of them. I'll just say no, because of that last sentence. I can't understand it. I can't understand what it's trying to get at. So I'm just gonna say no. Great Sand Sea, Golgonda. Is this a real card? No, not that tab. Great Sand Sea, Golgonda. That's the name of a real card. And that's the art from a real card, just flipped horizontally. Just with a new effect. Alright, I'll just read the effect, I guess. I mean, you can't just go, like, printing cards that already have this... You can't just go, like, basically, like, reusing the same name on new cards. It's not how it works. It's just, what does this version do? All spring-in exceeds monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense for each exceeds material attached to them. Once per turn, you can discard one Spring-in's card. Special summon as many Spring-in's exceeds monsters as possible with different names from your extra deck and attack position. Then shuffle one card from your hand to the deck during the end phase. I want to see how the rest of the card reads, to be honest. Very similar to the actual card that it ripped off. I love it. Face up exceeds monster you control battles an opponent's monster. You can attach as many monsters as possible to that monster from your opponent's graveyard. The maximum attack the attached monster has is double the attack of that exceeds monster. You can only use this effect of Great Sand Sea Golgonda once per turn. Again, there's already a card with this name. Yeah, I thought I vaguely remembered seeing a card with this name. It works and it's lore accurate. It's only lore accurate because it just almost copied. Well, it didn't copy word for word, but it took the name and the art, so. Would you run this one instead? This card name seems familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Live reaction, Spriggan sucking up their opponent's graveyard. Why is that cup shaped? Why is that glass shaped like a boot? Why am I questioning that? Final Psychic Ogre. Ghost Ogre way better though. Psychic Synchro effect. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner psychic type monsters. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate spell trap cards until the end of the damage step. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving a face-up psychic type monster you control, except this one. Once per turn, you can target 1 card in your graveyard. Banish it. If you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference between that card's original attack and current defense. Well, its original attack is going to be like what's written on the card, and its current defense is also going to be what's written on the card because it's in the graveyard. So nothing's going to like be changing its defense if it's sitting in the graveyard. So I guess no matter which one between the attack and defense is higher, because it says difference between that card's original attack and defense. So I guess no matter which of those two is higher, you just banish it and then just burn your opponent for like, let's just say you banish a Labyrinth Wall from your graveyard with 0 attack and 3000 defense. Just burn your opponent for 3000, basically. It's not a hard once per turn, so if you find a way to just somehow get this guy back on the field, I don't know. Thinking about it this way, that definitely seems like it would be like one hell of a way to maybe just FDK your opponent if you just summon multiple copies of these, or just somehow find a way to just keep on resummoning this card over and over again, and banishing cards with like a high difference between their attack and defense. I'm not really like too knowledgeable about a deck that can do all that. Yeah, this is kind of hard to say. If it was a hard once per turn on the last effect that does burn damage, then this would be like much easier to say, like it's not gonna brave the game, you can print it. But with that being like a soft once per turn with the potential to somehow get this guy back on the field, or play a second copy of this to use the effect again. I don't know. Yeah, we kind of had like something like this. A synchro monster that could just easily like do a lot of burn damage after just basically attacking with all your monsters. That was Dark Strike Fighter. The card basically had to be rewritten so that you can only just tribute 1 monster on a hard once per turn during the main phase 1 before you can attack with any of your monsters to do burn damage. Whereas like with the old version of Dark Strike Fighter, just tribute like all your monsters after you've attacked with them, and then just do damage to your opponent equal to like the combined level of all your monsters you tributed, times 200. And of course, nothing stopping Dark Strike Fighter from tributing itself back in the day to do a guaranteed 1400 damage. So just by that alone, I'm leaning towards saying no. And really, realistically, like, all that really would need to be done is to make, I guess, the last effect a hard once per turn. Because as it is, there's probably some crazy way to just FDK with this. And someone's gonna have to tell me, because I'm not quite sure what that is. What the hell is an armor card, anyways? We'll be posting a non-standard card today that I tried my best to interpret. Hope you enjoy it all the same. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated. But there's no effect to negate in the first place. Also, I have no clue what armor cards would do. Not sure if this was like some very obscure card type in some like obscure chapter of a Yu-Gi-Oh manga that I've never read. Or if this is something that AI came up with all by itself. And then there's like the number 100 here, so what is I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna bother commenting on this one because I have no idea what I'm reading. I want to see if like people in the comments section figured it out. Did the AI predict the next new mechanic? This card cannot be negated. Reminds me of bootlegs. Random numbers plastered around on cards for no reason made them so cursed. Oh yes, I saw like this fake Yu-Gi-Oh card that was the color of a trap card that said it was a magic card and had like, I think 5,000-ish attack and 4,000-ish defense or something. I mean, this wasn't like my card, it was like some short on SNI's White Dragon's YouTube, where he showed this fake Yu-Gi-Oh card called Fluky Workshop that read as follows: change the magic card into others. Interpret that however you wish. I interpret it as, activate this in response to like a normal or quick play spell card. Basically then pick a name of any normal or quick play spell card in Yu-Gi-Oh! The card that you just chained Fluky Workshop to gets that name and that card's effects. So you can basically turn like any magic card into any other magic card, forcing your opponent to activate, like, for example, something like a Pot of Generosity, which makes you shuffle 2 cards from your own hand into your own deck. Yeah, force your opponent to just resolve a Pot of Generosity instead of, like, whatever spell card they were trying to resolve. Yikes. Yeah, fuck just turning your own magic cards into better ones. Better yet, just turn your opponent's cards they're trying to activate into, like, ones that will also screw them over on top of them just not getting their spell card effects. Alright, moving on. Snake Command, Counter Trap. When a monster effect is activated that negates the summon or the activation of a card or effect. When a monster effect is activated that negates a summon or negates the activation of a card or effect, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So basically, negate a card that negates a summon, or would negate another card or effect. When the activation of a spell or trap card is negated, while this card is in your graveyard, return this card to the hand. Holy crap. This is an interesting one. Well, this card is in your graveyard, but cards like Dimension Shifter, Fisher, and Macro exist, so I don't know, if you really like want to keep this card from just recycling itself too many times, you have those cards as options and whatnot. Or stuff like DD Crow, to just banish any card from any graveyard, not any graveyard, your opponent's graveyard, but still. There are definitely ways to counter that second effect, but still, that's pretty cray-cray. I don't know, I kind of want to just see this card in action before saying it's way too powerful. Yeah, this is like the kind of card that feels like it could go either way. I'd probably have to see it in action first. World Soul Lind. The Half-Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Okay. One World Soul monster and one Light monster. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of this turn, you can use the effects of World Soul Lind, the Half-Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So each of them up to twice per turn, or just like 2 of the effects of this card? I assume the way I'm reading it, like you can use the effects up to twice per turn. Once per turn during the end phase. Oh, okay. You've lost me there. You can target one World Soul monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon this card during your next phase. Just the next phase, next part of the turn. You can only use this effect of once per turn. But the first sentence says you can use the effect twice per turn, so I guess once per turn just supersedes twice per turn, I think? Is that how that would work? Like the once per turn part would take precedence because I don't know. I'm just gonna assume that once per turn takes precedence over twice per turn and just leave it at that. But I could be dead wrong on this. So if this would die in the main phase, it comes back in the battle phase. Or if it dies in the battle phase, it comes back in the main phase too, so on and so forth. I guess we'll just, like, try and pretend the first sentence after, like, the fusion materials does not exist. And then, basically, the card is fine if we do that. I'll just scroll down to this one. Sylvan Zephyrophire. To summon our rank 6, we need 2 plant monsters. 2 or more plant monsters with different levels to summon our rank 6. When a monster you control attacks, you can attach 1 Xyz material from this card. Your opponent activates cards or effects with the same card types as the attached Xyz material. So, does this just... It just doesn't say that the effect goes away at the end of the turn. It doesn't say that it stops at end of turn, and I assume, I don't know, it applies until this gets taken off the field somehow? If this Xyz Common card is destroyed, and then it wouldn't be on the field anymore in that case, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, which you won't be able to, because it wouldn't be on the field after being destroyed. Add 1 Sylvan card from your deck to your hand, except Sylvan Valkyrion. I don't know what I have no idea what he did wrong. When a monster you control attacks, attach 1 Xyz material from this card this turn, your opponent. Okay, I forgot to read the this turn part, so... Okay, that doesn't really seem too broken anymore. The restriction on not being able to play a specific type of card only starts in the battle phase, because you can't attack before then, and it's only going to last during the battle phase, main phase 2, and end phase. And this won't be able to just stop your opponent from playing on their own turn. I mean, typically monsters aren't attacking on your opponent's turn. Typically, unless there's like maybe like some like obscure card that does that nobody plays. I could be totally wrong on the you can print this and it won't break the game, so I don't know, just I guess take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Okay, we got another normal monster. Okay, so why did the AI think it was a good idea to put a dog's head? So we got this anime knight with this real-life dog's head just put onto the anime knight's body. Yeah, so real dog's head on a cartoon character's body. You'd love to see it. This machine, created to crush the enemy's tallest trees and lay the groundwork for United Kingdom's defeat, is now a dangerous force to be reckoned with. It has decapitated numerous enemies with electromagnetic... Oh, this is brutal. Planning the downfall of the UK, decapitates people with electromagnetic waves and destroying all of the tallest trees. We need this in the game. Please print this. I just want to picture this dog-headed knight running around chopping people's heads off and just trying to plan the downfall of the UK. So much going on, I love it. We got so much lore going on here. Destroy the United Kingdom with electromagnetic... Check that out! Best card ever. This is what he wanted us to check out. If it lays the groundwork for the United Kingdom's defeat, I'm all for it. You can't tell me this was AI generated. UK players seething right now. An enemy for the UK that decapitates heads. Ayo, the old France got a cool robot now. Check this out! Ayo, I like making fun of Voybrush, but decapitating with electromagnetic waves is a bit too far. I too wish to defeat the UK using electromagnetic waves. Nice to know the World Legacy Saga takes place in the UK. Dangerous and dangerous. He's taking out the UK at least. Yeah, when I imagined... Yeah, like, if I were, like, in the UK, and we had to deal with invaders from the outside, we had to deal with foreign invaders, this is, like, the last thing I'd imagine them looking like. You want to take over our country, and this is what you're sending at us?! Look, I know you're trying for world domination, but I can't take you seriously. This is what you're trying to kill us with?! This?! Okay, next card. Ice Jade Swarm, normal spell. Target any number of Ice Jade monsters in your graveyard. Special summon them. Wow, okay. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Only restricted to Ice Jade monsters, but still. Okay, wow. Special summon them, but their effects are negated and they cannot be tributed. If you control an Ice Jade monster, you can only activate one Ice Jade Swarm per turn. And if you don't control an Ice Jade monster, I guess you can just activate this card more times. Just activate more copies. Free link materials to summon, I don't know, like, let's say if you dump like 4 monsters in your graveyard, you can just summon them all. Easy, easy link climb to a link 4. To be safe, I'm saying no. There's like one other card that comes to mind that just lets you special summon like a bunch of monsters from your graveyard, and it's banned. Granted, this is locked into Ice Jade monsters, but still. Seems a little too crazy, to be honest. Brotherhood of the Fire Dragon Ignis. That looks like some Adagnister monster's head put onto this Fire Fist guy's body. Okay, I was about to say this doesn't look like a dragon, but I guess we can maybe just... I guess maybe the dragon's in the background of the monster and this guy is just tagging along? If this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 Fire Dragon token to your opponent's field and defense position. Hard once per turn. On that, you contribute 1 other Fire Dragon monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if it was a Fire Dragon monster, banish 1 card to your... Oh, this is a big brain move. Tribute 1 other Fire Dragon monster, destroy 1 of your opponent's cards. Then if it was a Fire Dragon monster, or if it was their token that you gave them, you can then just destroy their token to then get the ability to banish 1 of their other cards. Non-targeting, by the way, on the banish parts. Pretty brilliant design space. 2 Fire Dragon monsters. Might be a little bit tricky to summon this thing, given how you need to have like specific monsters of the specific attribute and type. Seems perfectly fine to me. I'm aware there's like no once per turn on the tribute 1 other Fire Dragon monster, but you have to tribute your own monsters. So I can't imagine it being too crazy. Alright, we're gonna go down to this guy. Venno, the Valence Warrior. Oh god, we got a Pendulum card. So we have 2 text boxes to read, so I have to pretend this is both a spell card and a monster card at the same time, basically. Alright, so on a hard once per turn, when an opponent's monster attacks you while this is in a spell trap card zone, you can add 1 Valence card from your deck to your hand. That seems fine, if it's only like possible to do once per turn. While you have no cards in your pendulum zones, if your Valance monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, then that monster can make a second attack in a row. Nothing here jumps out as it will break Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's fine to print. I'd print this. Number 86. Hearth Archenemy. 2 level 4 monsters. To summon this rank 4 Xyz. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Special summon 1 rank 4 Xyz monster from your extra deck. But it cannot be used as Xyz material. Kinda hard to use that as Xyz material in the first place, While you control this Xyz summon monster, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with monster effects. If this face-up card is destroyed, you can target 3 Dark Magician monsters with different names in your graveyard. Shuffle them into the deck. Then you can special summon up to 2 Dark Magician Girl and or Dark Magician Girl. Up to 2 Dark Magician Girl and or Dark Magician Girls, so... Up to 2 Dark Magician Girl or up to 4? From your hand or deck? Or, like, both at the same time. I don't know, I thought, like, the first effect was weird enough. Just special summon a rank 4 Xyz monster from your extra deck. It can't be used as Xyz material, but probably won't be doing too much with that, to be honest, because it's going to come out of the extra deck with no Xyz materials. Yeah, it's not going to have materials anyways, so, I'm not quite sure what to say about this one. I'm trying to imagine how you'd use some of the effects on this one. Targeting protection for your other monsters also, by the way, but the other effects, I'm not, like, quite sure how you'd use them. Also, to use the last effect, you'd have to be playing Dark Magicians. Alongside this random card here. This random psychic type that doesn't look like it's part of the Dark Magician archetype, but hey, I guess it is. Yeah, I'm really confused here. Not quite sure how to use this one, or... I don't know, maybe just, like, word it slightly better and I think it's fine, I think? I mean, the Vena one was way simpler to understand, despite being a pendulum card, and I usually can't wrap my head around pendulums, so I was a little surprised to see that I digested that one so easily. Well, one box was like 4 lines of text and the other was 3, so that definitely helped my case. Unchained Soul of Banishment. If you control no cards, except Unchained Soul of Banishment, or all monsters you control are dark, except dark. So if you only control an Unchained Soul of Banishment, or all your monsters are dark, which in that case they will be because this is dark. So if you only control like an Unchained Soul of Banishment, you can special summon another copy of Unchained Soul of Banishment from your hand, then if you control another Unchained monster, which you will if I'm reading the card correctly. So if you control no cards except this, you can special summon another copy of this card from your hand, then you'll control another Unchained monster because the first one was already on the field. You can destroy 1 dark monster in your hand or field. Also, send 1 spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard with the same type, monster, spell, or trap as that monster. That's all, and you can only use its effect once per turn. Okay. Now, this is kind of hard to digest. Spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard with the same type as a monster. Wait, so this just doesn't work, right? I mean, if it's a monster, I mean, if, let's just say, like, there are, like, traps that can be special summoned as monsters, but while they're in your hand, they're never treated as monsters or anything. So if you're destroying a monster in your hand, spell or trap card with the same card type as a monster This makes no sense. Okay, I kind of just... The card seemed fine, but now I've hit like a... Now I've just hit like a logic bomb here. And I don't like quite know like how to respond to it. So do you have to be able to like send the spell or trap card to resolve like the other effects? It's not like, there's no like you may also send one spell trap, like this is part of the effect, so do you have to be able to resolve this? Which you can't anyways, because you're not gonna send a spell or trap card that has the same card type as a monster. Because monsters aren't spells and monsters aren't traps if they're in the hand. Or field. Destroy one dark monster on your field. If you destroy like a trap monster, I don't know, if you special summon like monster card that was a trap card that's dark attribute, you can destroy that and then I guess send a trap card from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, you can do that. Just, I guess, insert name here of some like trap monster that special summon. Oh wait, there's, say, Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine as an example. You set this card, you flip it up, special summon this as like a dark attribute monster in defense mode. So this could pop that trap monster and then you would be able to send a trap card from your deck to the graveyard. Because that was a trap card, I think? I think that's how it would work. Yeah, so you have to play like trap monsters or spell monsters if those existed to actually get some mileage out of this card, I think. But I don't know, seems interesting. When you remember there are trap monsters and you can actually pop something on the field. Not just in the hand. Okay, it's a continuous trap, too, apparently, Apex Predation. I just briefly read that text box, and then I also saw it was a continuous trap. If your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, negate the effects of all monsters on the field, then place one card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. This is mandatory, isn't it? So if your opponent just plays monsters from the extra deck, they can effectively force you to just keep on placing cards from your hand onto the bottom of your deck. Something you probably really don't want to be doing. But it's gonna be kind of hard to just like mass summon monsters if all the effects of monsters on the field are getting negated, but still, I'm trying to imagine a situation where you want to absolutely use this card. I mean, I'm also like trying to imagine situations where using this card would just certainly get you a game loss from all the cards to be just losing out of your hand. Yeah, for example, this would really like do almost nothing against the Shizu Tears, because most of those effects go off in the graveyard. And while they're summoning their monsters, you're just losing cards from your hand. So this is like some weird skill drain that also just rips cards out of your own hand. Yeah, it's basically like skill drain, but I think like a worse version of it. I don't know, I guess just play skill drain instead. That's not gonna just rip cards out of your hand. I don't know, I'm just looking at like a shittier skill drain. Displayable. Print this and pretend skill drain never existed. This is the real skill drain. Continuous, you say. Apex Predation is already the name of a card. Oh, really? Okay, it is. Yeah, and I guess also the name's taken too. Wait, I said yes to printing it. You would have to change the name, though. You need to just give it a new name, and then, like, I guess it would be fine. But everyone would just probably play Skill Drain instead of this. Well, technically, he's right. Technically, is Infernity support. Yeah, I read this as, like, mandatory and not once per turn, so you just slowly, surely, like, lose your entire hand if your opponent can still just keep on comboing off despite the effects of all monsters on the field being negated. If your opponent can still combo off despite the lack of effects on the field and play, like, I don't know, like 5 monsters out of their extra deck in one turn, you just lose your hand, basically, and you're really just fucked. then you got nothing. Besides a card that will just continue to just put your cards from your hand, if you still have any, on the bottom of your deck. Virtual World Warrior, Feng Shi. Psychic Synchro effect, 1 Virtual World Tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. If this card is special summon, you can reveal all cards in your hand. Then you can special summon 1 or 2 Virtual World monsters from your deck, except Feng Shi. Okay, but this can't be special summoned from the main deck anyways, it's like an extra deck monster. Then you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Yeah. You cannot special summon monsters a turn. You activate this effect, except Synchro monsters. You can only use this effect of Virtual World Warrior or Feng Shi once per turn. Destroy all cards your opponent controls. After special summoning like 2 more monsters from your deck. People still play Virtual World from time to time. This would be like a huge boost to that strategy. I'm still pretty sure, I don't think it would make Virtual World like tier 0? I could be wrong on this. Be able to like nuke all your opponent's cards on their field. I mean, be able to nuke their back row or their front row. Depends on the situation, is just, that could be game winning all on its own, but I don't know, why not just nuke both the front row and the back row at the same time? Cannot special summon monsters a turn you activate this effect, except Synchro monsters. I mean, I think I'm fine though if I've just already nuked my opponent's entire board. If I got to successfully resolve that. I don't know, like if they're coming back from that, to be honest. Just to be on the safe side, no. I guess don't print it just to be safe. Syak, the Ogdoadic King. We got a Reptile Fusion. Requires 1 Ogdoadic monster and 1 Reptile monster. Okay. If this card's special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Reptile monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. This card is unaffected by other monsters' effects. Also, your opponent cannot target Reptile monsters you control with card effects. Oh, dang. Okay. Target protection for all your reptiles, and this card's completely unaffected by monster effects, aside from its own. Once returned during the battle phase, you can target 1 reptile monster you control, including Syak itself if you want, to double its current attack and defense until the end of this turn. Okay. Wow. Pretty scary boss monster, but spell trap removal can still out it, of course. Yeah, this could easily get itself up to 6,400 attack, sure. Well, depends on the situation. That could be enough to push for game, with just like 1 or 2 other monsters lying around on your board. Yeah, that could be like enough to push for game. I mean, I'm still leaning towards this isn't too crazy because anyone who could just like summon like 2 level 8s can very easily access like a 9,000 attack beat deck. It's called Numeron Dragon. Yeah, I never thought like at any point in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, I never would have imagined just summoning 2 level 8s and then turning them into like a 9,000 attack beater, but Numeron Dragon is a very, very much a real thing. I don't know, just... I have to, again, see this kind of card in action before I can truly say, like, it's just too broken to be put on paper. I feel like I'd have to see this card get printed and try it out first before like any decisions are made on like if the card is fine to keep in the game or not. It's also an archetype that doesn't really see too much love, or like a card type that sees too much love. Maniac Shield. Equip spell. Equip only to a level 3 or lower Thunder type monster. Its attack becomes 0. Also, it's unaffected by trap effects, except its own trap effects. But a monster's not gonna have trap effects unless it's a trap monster? Like, what level 3 or lower Thunder type trap monsters exist anyways? Better yet, like, what level 3 or lower Thunder type monsters exist, except for, I don't know, maybe sprites? If the equipped monster attacks or is attacked, it gains attack equal to the original attack of the attacking monster times 100. Also, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of the damage step. Okay. Original attack of the attacking monster times 100. So let's just say I equip this to, I don't know, Sprite Blue. He has like 1100 attack, and then he attacks with Maniac Shield. 1100 times 100. 100, that's 110,000, isn't it? And then on top of that, it's unaffected by our opponent's card effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip this card to that target. With an effect like that to give a monster like potentially 6-digit attack, why would you want to do that? Why would you? Assuming your opponent was also running like level 3 or lower Thunder type monsters while you were doing the same thing. Unless you're playing a Sprite mirror match, I'm not expecting to see that come up like at all. Thunder type monsters, aside from sprites, what like predominantly Thunder type archetypes do we have here? Sometimes it might appear as non-human beings who utilize Thunder and Lightning as part of themselves, such as Wadhopper or Twipwire Beast. Twipwire Beast. Well, we have the Watts too, I guess, that are like a Thunder type archetype. We have the Watts. I think I've only seen like a few of these. Second Thunder type archetype after Battery Man. I do not remember ever seeing anyone playing Battery Man. What archetype consists of low attack light monsters with effects, mostly revolving around attacking in the battle phase? Lots of effects that activate after attacking directly, or simply battling. Main strategies are to attack through direct attacks, or relying on the level 4 Watt, so inflict damage through direct attacks. Are all the direct attackers, like, at least, like... What level are they, the direct attackers? Level 6 with 1400 attack. Yeah, all the ones that can attack directly, what are their levels? Are they like level 3 or under? Because if so, then we've got a combo here. That's a level 4. This one doesn't say it can attack directly. Nor is this one. That can attack directly too, but it's a level 4. Level 7 with 1500 attack. Level 3 can't attack directly with its own effect. Also can't like attack directly just by itself. Level 4 that can attack directly. Level 3 that can't attack directly with its own effects. Same here, level 3 that can't attack with its own effects. Yeah, if you could just make the level 4 monsters one level lower and equip one of them with this shield, I guess it's GG's. Unless the combo gets stopped somehow, it's GG's. Because you're going to be attacking directly for easily lethal, because you're multiplying the monster's attack by 100. Yeah, so with the Sprite Blue example I gave, where you're multiplying 1100 by 100, you're hitting for 110,000 damage. For sure that would end the game. Majesty of Empress, Great Sion or Cyan or however that's pronounced. I'm not sure. Level 7 Light Fairy. During the battle step and battle synchro summon periods. What is the battle synchro summon period? You can target Melfi monsters you control or in your graveyard. Just target them. Then banish one of them. Target any of your Melfi monsters to banish one of them. During either player's battle phase, you can target one banished monster. Banish that monster until the end phase. You can only use the effect of Majesty of Empress Great Sion once per turn. Adjust your hand. Adjust my hand so like the cards in your hand, so basically shuffle them, or like your hand, adjust your like real life hand, so like how would you adjust it? Like just basically move it around and stuff? And banish one Melfi ritual monster face down on your field. Adjust your hand and banish one Melfi ritual monster face down on your field. Period. Once per turn, you can target one Ogdoadic Oneness in your graveyard. Special summon it when a card is added to the hand. There's a lot to unpack here. This is a weird one. I'm not sure if I said like yes or no to the Maniac Shield yet. I'm gonna say no to it though because of the possibility to just get a monster with 6-figure attack. And I guess I'm gonna say no to this one too because I'm having a hard time understanding what's actually going on here. Mentions both Melfi and Ogdoadic monsters. I don't see a relation between those two archetypes whatsoever. It's getting a little late, so I think I'm just gonna end the stream here, and we're just gonna continue scrolling down the Yu-Gi-Oh! But AI Twitter account. Yeah, this one right here. We're just gonna continue scrolling down. This one, this card looks interesting. Eventually, we're just gonna continue scrolling down the Twitter feed on this account here and just reading more cards that it pumps out, and just see what else it spits out sometime later. Yeah, it's getting a little late, so I'm just gonna end the stream for now. Thanks for watching.